Hello everybody, this is Warjunk. I'm bringing you another Shogun Total War 2 commentary on Osaka Plain against Griffor, a guy I've played before, very recently actually, on this same map. I thought that was funny. When I saw his name, I was like, actually I saw his clan name and I realized, oh, Griffor, Griffin? Oh my god. I remember this guy because my clan name's named after my name, and his is named after his. Anyways, that's stupid. I'm just gonna shut up. But anyways, yeah, I'm bringing this battle. I thought I enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. It's an ultra fun's battle. So, I'll put it in slow motion. Tell you what I have. So I brought two Yaryashigaru, long Yaryashigaru. I brought two Bow Warrior monks. One of them's veteran. One of my Yaryashigaru is veteran too. I brought two Katana Sams. I believe both of them are veteran. Yeah. I also brought my Nodachi. Then I brought two Naginata Warrior monks and two sword attendants who are veteran. I also brought Matchlock Samurai who are also veteran. And a Yari Cav, a Monk Cav, and a Katana Cav. So and I brought my Waco Raiders, which I have hidden right here. I wanted to make them a late game changer, just because I like doing that with them. That's what they're there for. They're a powerful late game changer, powerful melee unit, as I've mentioned before plenty of times. He brought mostly a spear army with a heavy skirmishing advantage. He brought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 Yaryashigaru, 2 katanas, and 3 Naginata attendants. He brought a Matchlock Warrior Monk. He brought a Yari Matchlock unit. 2 Bow Warrior, actually 1 Bow Warrior Monk, 1 Daikyu, both 175 range. He brought mounted gunners, and then 2 Yari Cav, a Monk Cav, and a Yari Sam. So I'm leaving slow motion here, just kind of explain what's happening at the moment. So I'm bringing my army up to the waterline. I forgot to deploy my Matchlocks separately. I actually put them in the group, and actually completely forgot about them when I deployed, because I meant to put them up on the far right flank so I could run them up to this shrine. Most of the time when I bring Matchlocks, it's more of a deterrent to keep someone off of one flank, and to be kind of an anti-cav unit. You never know if someone's going to bring Great Guard. They are, to my opinion, the ultimate Great Guard killer. I mean, they're the good killer against everything, but Great Guard just doesn't really have, in my opinion, any real good opponent against it but Matchlocks. Everything else just kind of gets slaughtered by them, unless you got a really decked out melee gen. So what he does is, he does a smart. I do have a stronger melee core than him. He does have a lot of Ashigaru, a lot of low morale units. He puts his units right here, and he's going to sit him there the whole game. And then where I think he kind of messed up is he leaves his bow monks right here. In my opinion, he should have kept them behind this line and fired, or brought him up close enough where he could fire my bow monks, and then brought up his warrior monks. That's warrior monks, his Matchlocks units. Sorry about that. He tries using his mounted gunners as a stand and fight unit, like for skirmishing, which is not what they're meant for. They are what they are, a skirmishing unit meant to hit and run. They're not meant for standing up to any kind of missile fire. I do start off by shooting his Matchlock Ashigaru. I think that was a mistake. I should have started off by getting the first volley off on the Matchlock Warrior Monks. I don't. I want to fire one volley at them once I switch, and then I'm going to focus all my archers onto the mounted gunners. Now this is where he could have easily won this battle if he did this. Kept these guys lined up right here, brought them up, shot up my Yari line, brought up his bows, focused on my bows with his bows, because I would have had to make a choice. That would have forced me to rush him, and then he could have brought his cavalry around. Of course, if I rushed, I probably would have sent just my melee corps, kept my spears behind to cover my rear against his cav. But it would have left me at a disadvantage. I would have been playing into his game, been rushing towards him. He would have had a Yari wall up, because he does deploy his guys in the Yari wall. Yes, I would have had this unit, But I think he would have had a larger chance of winning if he had done that, because he also had captured the Morale Shrine. And he also captures the Archery Dojo, but doesn't have any archery units over here. He does bring his Daikyus up over here later in the game, but I think it's too late to really use it. I think this dojo on this map is kind of useless, how far away it is. Because if this is a Morale Shrine, yeah, everyone's going to rush for it. But it's not. So we're going to sit here. I do capture the farmhouse. And we're just going to exchange missile fire for a while. And I'm going to speed it up. So, like I said, I'm going to focus on his mounted gunners until they're gone. Then I'm going to focus on the bow warrior monks. In just a second here, I'm going to move my katana cab up and around my rear flank, bring around and take out his Matchlock Ashigaru. Because his Matchlocks to me are the biggest threats. I'm not so worried about the bows. I can deal with the bows. Bows won't dish out the amount of morale shock that the Matchlocks will. Even Matchlock Ashigaru will deal out a large amount of morale shock. Guns in general do. As any somewhat veteran player will know. Actually, any person who's played against him. Yes, he is camping right here. I would have done the same thing if I was him. Now, this is where, with his mounted gunners, if he had kept him with his cav and then brought him up, took a shot at my cav, I would have had to run my cav away or charged him. I mean, obviously he'd want to bring him over here, but just harass me, get me to move, get me to pay less attention to here, but more attention over here. He could have easily won the cav fight if he could somehow get my Matchlocks out of position, charge them, charge these guys with his cav, bring his mounted gunners around, just start shooting on the flank into the cav fight. That would have made my cav null-and-void. My flank, my whole rear would have been open to his cav if he won. There's about 50-50 chance I would have sent my Avatar body over here to deal with that. So anyways, back over here. Missed this. I just took out his Matchlock Ashigaru. I'm charging for his Matchlock warrior monks, because those guys are just deadly as hell. I mean, if you look at my units, just decimates. Granted, he is shooting his bows at my Ashigaru too, but whatever. Oh, so here's my biggest micro mistake. I had these guys clicked on his Matchlocks, and so they move forward. I should have noticed that and told them to stop and stay there, because now these guys are now going to be shooting and hitting all of this. It's never good to have your units overlapping each another. It's always going to cause more casualties than would have actually been needed for you to take. I do realize this, my opinion, not in time. He is focusing on my bow monks now, one at a time. Smart move on his part. He should have been doing that from the get-go. So I set my cabin again. This time I get a real good charge off on his bow monks and his Matchlock monks. I don't get too many casualties on his Matchlock monks, but his bow monks I decimate. He's going to pull his Matchlock monks over, and he's going to hold them here for the rest of the battle. They aren't really going to do anything else. At this point, I probably should have withdrew this unit, brought him around to this flank, and sat. I didn't. I'm going to charge him back over again. I should have not used him how I did, but, you know, everything ended up working out in the long run, so what am I complaining? Just little micro mistakes that I do. I'm not the world's greatest player. So I'm still focusing on his bow monks. I just wanted to get him the route. I should have just said screw it. But now that bow monks are gone, I can focus on his Daikyu samurai. I'm going to charge these guys at his Daikyu. And this is where I F up. Like I said, I shouldn't have charged. I clicked that, then I looked over here and moved this. And when I looked back, they were into the RE line, and they took quite a few casualties. That isn't what I wanted. Micro mistake, my fault. And again, I try and charge forward, pull back, and they're going to rout. The Daikyu are just going to focus on him. The reason why he moved his Matchlocks over here, because when those Matchlock Ashigarus were retreating, they ran into these guys, and now he knows they're there. Even though they are a shatter unit, they can still detect hidden units. So he's continually moving around my flank with his cav. I'm going to keep my Matchlocks focused on him with my cav near him for support.
Our men are running from the battlefield. Shameful display!
And there's my my katana cav running. I'm gonna keep. I reposition my Naginata monks to be ready for any kind of rear charge. I know they aren't the best cav killers, but they still kill them. Believe it or not, my katana Sam don't do too much in this fight. It's a very couple key units that do a lot of damage. My katanas, my Waco Raiders, and my Daikyu. My Daikyu I'm very proud of. You'll see why in just a little bit. So I'm going to move my Naginata monk cav over here. And I'm going to position them right here. Because I want to take the shrine away. That isn't initially what I did. What I did was I charged them. I shouldn't have charged him like that. I should have brought him all the way around, made him cross the river, and if I was going to charge his Daikyu, charge him on land. Because it would have been quicker. Here I'm just saying my bow monks forward. They're out of ammo and they're useless, so just trying to get them off the field. I notice I'm not going to get those guys, so instead of taking casualties, I'm going to retreat them. Like I said, I'm going to position them right here. They don't cap the shrine, but they're going to make him draw attention away from other parts of the battle. I put him there in just a second.
From the battlefield. A shameful display.
His Yari Sams are still moving over. This is a unit that could have been more effective over here. Once he capped the shrine, he should have moved him back or kept him on this island. He doesn't do that, and that's another micro mistake he makes that could have helped him win the battle. Because from my personal experience, from what I see, if he had used his skirmishing units to full effect and he did camp this spot right here, which would have been the better place for him because he had a better skirmishing, I would have had to charge him. There's no reason for him to charge me. He has no reason to. Why take the casualties when he could defeat me in other ways? He could have easily beat me, I think. But, you know, live and learn. Maybe he'll watch this video, see what he did wrong, and get better. I mean, that's what I've done. So he's bringing his Matchlock Warrior monks up. I don't notice this until it's too late, until he starts running them back, because he discovers these guys again.
Our hidden units have been discovered, my lord.
I notice it. Reason why I noticed is because of the hidden units, the notification. Now, you just noticed that I did pull my Yari Ashigaru off of the front line because he doesn't have any more matchlocks. There's no reason for him to be there to soak up any more lines. He's not going to charge me, I've come to the conclusion. Most of them are more than half depleted. I only have one Yari Ashigaru not. And when I do my assault, I want to have my monks. But I need a rear guard against his cav. And he does another micro mistake, which I will outline when it happens. So here I am charging my Waco Raiders in. They're going to do quite well, regardless of route of wavering right now. I was going to charge his Katana Sams with my Warrior Monks, my Monk Cav. I said not to. I do withdraw him right here. He brings his general forward. Don't know what he was doing about that. I think he was just trying to... Actually, I do know. He was trying to ward off my cav. But I see this... I see it as a weakness. And he keeps him away from the bulk of his army. From his spears. I notice this right away. You're going to see me instantly shift my cav around and attack his Avatar's bodyguard. Now for me, my Waco Raiders are going to get the most kills in my army.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, my lord.
So the rest of my archers used all their ammunition, and they just shattered. I'm starting my assault. I'm doing a frontal assault, which is always a bad idea against Yari Ashigaru. I thought that my units might be starting off to win. I should have known better. But I charge. I stop my units. I decide to send my sword attendants in first. Another stupid idea. These guys are reserves, not assaulting troops. I was just trying to get the blunt of the blow to happen to them, not my good units. I move my Nodachi around on the flank. I move my Yari Cav up, take out his Daikyu. Oh, and I missed this. So his is micro mistake. He charges my matchlock units, but when he does that, he does it in a clump. He should have sent one this way and then
Their
flanked.
general has fallen.
But even then,
The cat
he
is
charged
low.
him with Yari support right behind him. I put my general in the fight. I charge his lines. My sword attendants are going to rout. I'm going to charge with my Daikyu right now. My Daikyu, I've already taken quite a few casualties because of his, when I was charging, his Daikyu were shooting at me from my Nodachi. There we are, hitting the charge.
Our general is in grave danger, my lord.
Some casualties on my part. I think I took more casualties than he did in the charge. So my Nodachi are going to do awesome. I notice I'm losing this fight. Units are routing. I just pulled everything back. I won the cat fight. I saw this. My Waco Raiders are still fighting. They've already routed a Yari Ashigaru, a Naginata unit, and now they're fighting against a Katana Sam, which will be their demise, but they're going to do really well. They're going to get to 308 kills, and then they're going to rout. Oh, 318, I think it is.
Our men are running from the battlefield.
Yep, 318.
Shameful display.
My Nodachi, believe it or not, they're going to hold off the whole battle. They're depleted, but they're badasses. He sends really weak units against him. He should have moved one of his sword units to face him, but he has the sword units over here chasing my Waco Raiders. Another micro error on his part. I have my matchlocks shoot his Yari Sam as they charge. His general's dead, so they rout pretty quickly. At this point, I'm gonna gather my forces back up, and I'm gonna move forward again. Once I take out these Naginata attendants, I'm just gonna sit them here. This is actually gonna be the last melee engagement of the battle, and you'll see what I mean by that. He's gonna move all his units to one position over here. At this point, I know I have the battle. These Katana units, I'm not worried about. If you look at my Katana Sams, they're pretty full. I mean, 125 on 160, 157 on 160. My sword attendants come back from routing. I still got my matchlocks. So I'm going to move up my whole army and surround him, at least mostly surround him, and neutralize the morale shrine. Once I do that, his whole army routs. Between the matchlock fire, his general being dead, and not having that support from the morale shrine, it's my battle. And yeah, that's basically the battle. It was most of the casualties come from skirmishing, at least for me. My casualties, just look at that. I got slaughtered. I do cause a lot of casualties to him, he's slaughtered, but bulk our army's melee forces don't die. It's just our skirmishing units mostly. So yeah. So he's gonna raver, and once I cap this, it's gone. Just speed it up. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. So yeah, it is, watch, nobody, look at it.
My lord,
This whole army,
a glorious victory will
oops,
soon
sorry,
be yours.
this whole army just routs as soon as this becomes nobody's. That's what happens when you have a huge Ashigaru contingent with no morale support, being a general, an elite unit, or a shrine. So yeah, that's the battle. Ultimately, I do think he's a pretty decent player. I've played a lot worse than him. He just made a couple micro mistakes. We all do it. Not a couple, maybe a few. Like I said, if he just used his skirmishing element better, used his mount of gunners in a hit and run tactics, neutralized my cav instead of charging his cav into a death trap, he could have won this easily, because I would have to charge him. Wouldn't have been able to get past that spear wall. He didn't move his general into a bad position. Kept them by spears. With leadership generals, you need to have spear support around them at all times. Don't try and use them for melee. If you're going to use them for melee, it has to be at a pivotal point where there's no other choice, or you need to do a hammer and anvil. Because sometimes doing a hammer and anvil will make one flake route, you know, will make a chain route. So you can see the statistics here. He brought up a little less than 300 than me. I killed about 500 more than him, a little less. You can see my Waco Raiders, again, so why I love them. 318, my Nodachi 231. Look at that, they lost 123 and they never routed the whole match. My Monks, my Katana Cav, they did their part, well worth their money. Mashrock Samurais, they did more than they normally do, so I was happy about that. And if you look at my big killers, it's only these guys. And it was mostly against weak units. None of his strong units. If you look back over here, look at his Daikyu Samurai, 359. They just decimated me. Where are these guys? These guys only really got one or two volleys off, and they got 52 kills from that. These guys got one volley off, and then they were gone. I jumped on them really quickly. So yeah, that was the battle. Good game to Griffor. Hopefully I'll play him again, and who I've learned and increased his skill set. Thank you for watching. This is Warjunk. Bye.